Welcome back, guys, to another Tesla video. We do have some big news today in regards of a major price target, and this is by a legendary billion-dollar investor. So in the past few weeks, we've made several videos about major analyst upgrades, and I even made one, I think, on a massive downgrade from analysts. But most analysts right now are simply throwing in the towel. There's virtually no one shorting Tesla stock anymore, which means little to none are betting that Tesla stock goes down. A lot of people have been betting that Tesla stock going down, but the stock just simply keeps going up. It's a really powerful company, which a lot of people still kind of evaluate it as a car manufacturer, but you can't really look at it as a car manufacturer anymore. You got to look at it as an energy company at this point, and one of the biggest energy companies in the world. You do have the legendary investor from 2008 who bet that the housing bubble will pop, and it did. And the real estate market absolute crash, and he made a lot of money. That was Michael Burry. And Michael Burry right now is shorting Tesla stock, and it's not really doing so well for him. In fact, he's losing a ton of money from shorting the stock. A lot of you guys may be wondering, what does it mean to specifically short a stock? It means that you're going to borrow shares from someone else, sell it on their behalf, but you have an obligation to buy it back because you borrowed those shares. And preferably, you want to buy back those shares at a lower point. You're essentially betting that the stock goes down, and shorting the stock is really scary because your max gain is 100%, but your max loss is infinite. And a lot of people have been losing millions and billions of dollars shorting Tesla stock. And right now, the legendary billion-dollar investor, Chamath Palihapitiya, is predicting that Tesla stock will triple from this current price. Tesla is at roughly $850 at this current price tag, meaning that Tesla should be hitting roughly $2,500 in the next few years. And Palihapitiya is saying the reason why he thinks Tesla stock may triple isn't because of the amount of cars that are produced. Now, producing a bunch of vehicles is a big deal, but it's because Musk is mostly focused on clean energy. Palihapitiya has also said that somebody who fixes and figures out the climate change of the world will become the first trillionaire, which is pretty much defending Tesla CEO Elon Musk. And this is why Musk has actually surpassed Bezos in terms of net worth. And with Tesla stock hitting $2,500, $2,600, according to Palihapitiya, that would essentially make Musk a multi-trillionaire if you added the valuations of SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. So that's pretty exciting to hear. Now, whether or not if Tesla stock could be worth like $2.53 trillion is really up for you to decide. But there's a few things to note, because Palihapitiya also said that if you want to have Tesla stock go up this high, you're going to have to work with other countries, other companies for energy storage, which is exactly what Tesla is doing. Tesla several months ago made a battery farm, which became a massive success in Southern Australia. Because in Southern Australia, a lot of people every single year experience blackouts each summer, and it's really bad. So making this massive battery farm, which is made out of Tesla power packs, it stabilizes the local grid, which means that during, storms, tornadoes, and also just a regular summer, Southern Australia wouldn't have like really bad blackouts anymore. So it really does stabilize the local grid, etc. So it's pretty good. And so far, Southern Australia is saying that it's saving them tens of millions of dollars. And they're also getting massive contracts from other companies to build these battery farms to stabilize grids. It's really interesting how a lot of these countries aren't actually hiring other countries to do it. They're hiring private enterprises like Tesla to figure things out. And the thing is, only Tesla is doing these massive battery farms. And Tesla has really harnessed the power of these lithium-ion battery cells. What's even cooler is if you check out the battery production cells for vehicles in the next few years. It's going to be Tesla. Sure, you got multiple big companies like QuantumScape, who is researching a lot of batteries, but they wouldn't really go into production until 2025. You also have other major battery companies, like the third-party ones, which are pretty big, and they'll do some pretty cool stuff with pretty nice battery cells, but the production is extremely low. You could have the best battery cells in the world, but if you don't have production, you just simply can't make money. Whereas Tesla, they already have the Nevada Gigafactory, which is dedicated for making battery cells. You have the Berlin Gigafactory, which is making cars, but they do have a battery department. And once they finish all the expansion, all the buildings, and when it's at max capacity, the Berlin Gigafactory will be the biggest battery factory in the world. Yeah, you heard that right. And it's pretty interesting that Tesla put the massive battery factory at Berlin, which is right next to Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, which hints that they might be selling battery cells to their competitors. Very similar to how Samsung sells screen panels to Apple, which is Samsung's biggest competitor in the smartphone industry. So it's really up to you to decide if Tesla stock will triple, but Chamath Palihapitiya has had a really good year. In 2020, he actually went on Twitter and said that if you followed his plays and bought his stocks, your portfolio would have been up like 300%. That's incredible. And most hedge funds can't even manage to do that. A lot of the hedge funds and big banks on Wall Street can't even beat the S&P 500. 50% of them can't. So with Chamath making this much money from his SPACs, from his stocks, shows you that he's a pretty investor. He's pretty tech heavy, and he's very different from the average Wall Street guy. And he's been doing a lot of SPAC stocks as well. He's also taken Open Door public, which is a really good stock, doing really well. He's currently taken SoFi public, which is a really good financial stock. So he's on an absolute roll right now. Reminds me of Cathie Wood from ARK Invest. And let's just see if Tesla stock will triple. At this current moment, Tesla stock is showing little to no resistance. It's having a really, really good run. And with other major stuff other than batteries, for example, autopilot coming out, I think Tesla is really in a good position to succeed. And last but not least is the Indonesian Gigafactory. So Musk knows that if he wants to dominate the lithium-ion battery industry in the next few years, you're going to be needing a lot of nickel. Nickel is a very expensive resource, and it's pretty rare, especially when they want to produce lithium-ion battery cells at such a high scale level. Of the 4680 battery cells, you want to make the batteries denser so your vehicles will hold more charge, it charges faster, etc. You're going to be needing a lot of nickel. Tesla is already working with the Indonesian government to set up a gigafactory because Indonesia sits on the biggest reserve of nickel in the world, and it's in a very concentrated spot. And once they open up this gigafactory in Indonesia, they'll start getting a bunch of nickel, start getting the nickel to Berlin, Nevada, and maybe even make an own battery factory in Indonesia. That's going to be very beneficial for both parties. Indonesia gets a lot of really great and high-end jobs. And of course, Tesla gets a lot of nickel, which improves the battery cells. So if you check out other car companies, you hear little to no news about battery factories. No one is really making that. No one is really researching batteries from other companies. A lot of other car companies are simply relying on third-party companies like QuantumScape, which wouldn't even have a product until 2025. So it's really iffy for a lot of these companies. You may make the best series of electric vehicles, but if you don't have the lithium-ion battery cells to supply it, you simply can't manufacture it and also deliver it. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below. How do you guys feel about Tesla being worth $2.5 to $3 trillion?